Australia's response to the pandemic is working. And it is working, and that is being recognised, particularly when you compare how Australia's response to the pandemic plays out to the experience of so many other countries around the world. That pandemic response has, of course, been about the extraordinary effort and the response that has gone into the health impacts of the pandemic. But it has also been about the response that we've put in relation to the economy. We said at the outset, save livelihoods, save lives. And we are doing both of those things. Our responses, the policies we've put in place, the programs we've put in place are working. And we're seeing the evidence of that. In January, we saw 100,000 Australians come off JobSeeker. We saw at the end of September some 2.1 million Australians come off JobKeeper. Some 450,000 businesses back on their feet as the comeback of the Australian economy continued. It's lights, camera, jobs when it comes to the support and incentives we've put in place for our film industry, as the rest of the world are seeing Australia's response to the pandemic, and they're saying that's where we need to be. That's where they're getting it right. And you know, whether it was JobKeeper or JobSeeker, the cash flow boost or the many other things that has seen Australia come through this with the strength that we have to date, HomeBuilder was one of those key projects, one of those key policies. And you know, when we announced that policy, it had its sceptics, it had its critics. They said nobody was going to take this on. Not only did they take it on, but they've taken it on far beyond our expectations. Some just shy of 82,000 applications. This is a pipeline of work of some $18 billion. A residential building and construction industry, which you see on display here and so many places like it around the country, was looking at a chasm at the end of September or thereabouts of last year. And now it is looking at a pipeline of 2 years at least of new work. That's a product of confidence. It's a product of the right policy settings. We just saw in the confidence statistics released yesterday, once again, more optimists than pessimists in Australia about our economic future. That's because of the resilience and great optimism of Australians, no doubt, but backed in by the policies that they can see are working and are working for them. They're certainly working for Mitchell and Talia here as they can realise their dream of their first home as they move into it later this year and then they are married next year. So that's exciting as a Prime Minister. It's exciting as a government to see that when you design these programs that they get these types of results. This is what it was intended to do. This is what it is doing. And I think that is giving Australians great confidence. Now, that's not to say there won't be bumps along the road still, that there are still not challenges. Of course there are. But we are taking them, those challenges. We're dealing with them. There are sectors of the Australian economy that continue to have real challenges. The aviation sector in particular, as Secretary Kennedy was remarking earlier today. That's true. But we'll work through those issues and challenges just like we've worked through all of the others. Getting Australians back into work, getting businesses back on their feet, getting Australia moving forward strongly again. Now that comeback certainly started last year, and I expect over the course of this year, we will see that momentum continue. You know, we're taking Australia out of crisis. We're taking us beyond the crisis. Crisis we want to be behind us, and I think all Australians feel that way. And our policies are leading us out of crisis, and they're leading us into growth.